Hello everyone, my name is DexFreds, and welcome back to another Sonic review video. First off, I just want to say, hey, thank you guys so much for getting the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 review video up to 100 views. That is insane, and I thank you everything. Anyways, Sonic Generations. Another Sonic game aimed at a fan favorite from the community. And the question truly here is, do I share the same opinion, and do I recommend this game to all users, to all Sonic fans? Well, let's find out. Also keep in mind that this is all my personal opinion. And like the other 3D Sonic games, we're going to be going over the 5-step process: the story, graphics, soundtrack, gameplay, and bosses. The story starts off with classic Sonic roaming through the iconic Green Hill as we know to this day. After his run through Green Hill, he encounters a mysterious being known as the Time Eater, who is literally a time eater. He literally erases time. Going to the modern days, Tails tries to surprise Sonic on his 20th birthday, which is what this game is going for. Earlier on, the Time Eater sucks Sonic's friends into specific places. Sonic obviously tries to fight back, but then... yeah. Sorry, Sonic. Anyways, Sonic woke up in this mysterious place filled with no color whatsoever. He obviously roams through Green Hill Zone, as we all see, just like classic Sonic did. And then Tails gets free. He was a literal statue. Ooh.
Thanks, Sonic. I thought I was dead, floating without a body in a black limbo. You weren't kidding when
After Sonic runs to the chemical plant, you know this is another Sonic coming through, though he just thought he was the same one. Another 2 stages, another 2 friends is coming back. After the Sonics run through the other 2 stages, they realize that Sonic realizes that he needs 3 keys. In order to do that, he has to replay the stages in order to get these keys. Along with classic Sonic, somehow running into Metal Sonic, though I don't know for story-wise. The keys were used for the lock, and then classic Sonic and Modern meet face-to-face, though without realizing that they were different from each other. Okay, not very different, but they looked a lot different. This is where they soon realize that there's multiple versions of themselves. Classic, of course, tries to fight Eggman, and is in yet another Death Egg robot. Then the Time Eater comes in and takes Eggman away. Not only is there a classic Sonic, there's also classic Tails in here. Though it was a bit unexpected, it was still a nice return. Another 3 stages, another set of keys needing to find through these missions, and another rival fight. This time, it's modern Sonic vs. Shadow. And yet another boss fight, Perfect Chaos returning from Sonic Adventure into Sonic Generations. Quite the surprise it was, but it was nice. After each rival fight and every boss fight, they receive a Chaos Emerald. 2 Chaos Emeralds at the last this regular boss. And yet another set of keys to find in another 3 levels. Another rival battle comes too, and it's surprisingly Silver from Sonic 06. After that rival fight, Sonic encounters the Edge Dragoon from Sonic Unleashed, which we'll get into in the future, but not at the moment. All the friends meet up with each other after the Edge Dragoon fight, and yet Eggman has been taken again. Well, it seems like it. Eggman reveals that him and his classic self has been controlling the Time Eater from the entire time. Sonic, along with his classic self, tried to fight back, but it didn't go so well. His friends, of course, give him motivation so he can do it, and as the usual, it does work out. After all that, Sonic and his classic self fights the Time Eater with everything that they've got, collecting rings during the process, and his friends giving him motivation once again, just so he can beat him. After the fight, they return to the birthday party, and everyone was impressed. Yeah. Classic Sonic, along with Classic Tails, says goodbye to everyone, including their modern variations of themselves. Then that's where Sonic Mania comes into play, 6 years later. The story is a lot more basic than any of the other Sonic games, but like Sonic Spinball, I weirdly like it in that perspective. Now, I can't say that I necessarily love the story. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. There could have been a whole lot more, but that's the thing. It's so simplistic that it just works out well. It just works really well. And I appreciate Sega not going too crazy with Sonic's story for Generations. They go for the simplistic way, which if I was designing a game like this, I'd actually would probably do the same thing. But however, this story is nowhere near as good as the Sonic Adventure stories. Not by a long shot. And while it's not one of the best, it's not one of my personal favorite stories in the franchise. It still works very well, and it serves its purpose. It makes the game serve its purpose. Sonic Generations story will be given a simple 8 out of 10. Okay, maybe a 7.5 out of 10, considering it's very basic. It's still quite the good story. Yeah, just not quite the great, but it's still very good. Now, how are those graphics? Honestly, they're amazing. The graphics in both the cutscenes and the levels, they look incredible. And at the time, this was the Sonic team's best that they ever done for 3D Sonic games, in terms of graphic-wise. The graphics will be given a simple 10 out of 10. Now, but what about the music? Well, the music is awesome, but it is very much unoriginal. Legit, the only original soundtrack in this game is the Time Eater, well, at least the only big important soundtrack. But even then, the remixes for the soundtracks still are really nice to listen to, even though it's not very original. Okay, and I know what you guys are thinking. But X-Freds, it's almost every Sonic game has a remix. Yes, they certainly do, but they at least have a decent amount of original soundtrack in it too. And like I said, I really love the remixes. But the thing is though, the fact that there's only one original soundtrack it does downgrade the soundtrack by a bit. Only by a bit though, not by a ton. Sadly though, so I was gonna give the soundtrack a 10 out of 10, but because it's unoriginal, I'm gonna have to downgrade it by a half a point. It's a 9.5. It's still really nice to listen to. It's just not that original. So sorry generations. However, my favorite soundtrack, my favorite remix in this game is the Death Egg Robot remix. It sounds amazing to listen to. Just listen to this. Now, how is that gameplay? The gameplay, honestly, it's amazing. In the first act of every stage, you play as classic Sonic. In the second act, you're playing as modern Sonic. Now, the level, in terms of levels, is City Escape is obviously my favorite one. I can never grow bored of playing through it. I can never get bored from it. It's that much fun. And back to the concept of the classic Sonic and modern Sonic turns. And I think this execution was done well. In fact, it's a perfect balance between modern and classic. Yeah, this balance works really well. And I'm so happy that Generations did this right. This is how you call a nearly perfected Sonic gameplay. And I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'll have to say it, guys. I can't name a single bad level in this game. All the stages are really fun. Even Planet Wisp. Now Planet Wisp is at last place for the levels. It was just purely because of how long it can be. But even then, it's still fun for the most part. Although I wish it was a lot shorter than what it was. So what can I say, guys? The gameplay is amazing. 10 out of 10 gameplay for sure. My favorite boss fights? Honestly, my favorite boss fight in Generations has to be the Ed Dragoon boss fight that was from Sonic Unleashed. From human perspectives, the Ed Dragoon was still the best fight in Sonic Unleashed. Not that the other fights in that game were bad by any means, But the Ed Dragoon was just so it became another iconic boss. And the fact that it got into Generations, it made it a whole lot better. Yes, there's no Werehog, but let's be honest. The Ed Dragoon fight, it wasn't great because of the Werehog. A running section that has you boost is to hit Eggman along with dodging almost every attack that he throws at you. Along with the wall jumping process to hit him. Yeah. This is an insane amount of quality. And I'm so happy that Generations included this in. Perfect Chaos is also really awesome, and is my second favorite fight in this entire game. Although my only little pick with it is it can be pretty easy at times, but it's still fun either way. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I actually like the Time Eater boss fight. I can see why a lot of people don't really like this boss fight that much. But think about it, guys. When a lot of stuff, almost all the stuff, at least, there's stuff that you would see from a final boss. It's stuff that I would see from a final boss, at least. I don't know about everyone else. And while it is basic for a final boss, it's executed really well done. Though let's be honest, if the 3DS version of Generations had the boss a hell ton better. So let's recap everything what I just said. The story isn't quite great, but it's understandable for what the game is. It is a 7.5 out of 10, as I said. The graphics are a simple 10 out of 10. The music, while unoriginal, is still really nice to listen to. 9.5 out of 10. The gameplay is a 10 out of 10 without that much question. The balance between in classic and modern Sonic works well. And the boss fights, are a 9 out of 10. And they're as perfect as they can be, although let's be honest. I just think the game does a better job at everything else. And the weirdest thing is the story is the weakest of the bunch, yet it's able to hold Sonic Generations fine enough. So what can I say, guys? Sonic Generations is one of, if not my favorite 3D Sonic game. And I'm hoping that most of you can agree. If not, then that's perfectly fine, and I can understand. In fact, I can understand why you wouldn't really care for this game in either way. But I will agree with most people that Sonic Generations was done perfectly. Well, as perfect as it can be. There are some weird aspects in here and there that I did poke fun at, but let's be honest, I love almost everything in Sonic Generations. Now, stuff like the challenges are my least favorite part about the gameplay. But even with that, as most of them are still manageable, but it's something that I wouldn't play over and over again. With that being said, guys, Sonic Generations is a 10 out of 10 Sonic game, and is, in my opinion, the best 3D Sonic game of all time. Now, I will say this though, Sonic Mania does have some better moments than this, but I'll fully admit, Generations and Mania are just so close that they're just basically shaking hands. So, I'll see you guys in the Sonic Mania review. And I'll see you all in the next video.